My name is Shanice Williams Headlam. I am the Director for the Rent Services Unit. So, the Rent Assessment Board assists landlords and tenants who have rental disputes. We mediate with a view to settle disputes and educate both parties about the provisions of the Rent Restriction Act. So, the Rent Services Unit is a secretariat of the Rent Assessment Board. The unit reports to the board all rental issues that are brought to the unit's attention. Well, many Jamaicans are unable to own their own home. As such, renting is one of the housing solutions available. Often disputes arise when people rent due to misunderstandings, lack of written contracts, not abiding by their contracts, and other things come up from time to time. So the Rent Assessment Board impacts national development by providing amicable and workable solutions to disputes in rental matters. And we also educate landlords and tenants about their rights, and with rights comes responsibilities as well. So under the Rent Restriction Act, we have court hearings as well, and those court hearings aid participants to settle their disputes amicably and legally. Those are legally binding agreements. Well, people benefit from the work done by the Rent Assessment Board as we help them to get over their hurdles they face while they rent. So we assist landlords to write notices to quit, to have their tenants removed from the property. This is something that can be quite costly for some landlords, right? And especially if they do not have attorneys, and if they can't afford attorneys. So some landlords depend on the rent for their survival, and maybe even pensioners too. So, sometimes the money is limited for them. So maybe they are unemployed, etc. So there are a myriad of things that will allow them not to be able to afford an attorney. So landlords are also able to sue their tenants for arrears of rent, and tenants are also able to sue the landlord for the return of their security deposits. So if they were to go directly to the court, they may have a longer waiting time to have their cases heard. And if tenants are harassed by the landlord, we also speak with the landlord and guide the tenant where to go to have their cases sorted out. So over the past 3 years, we have assisted about 18,270 clients who sought assistance in office and also by electronic communication. So there were 261 clients who sought assistance as it relates to getting the standard rent for their property. We had about 117 persons who sought assistance for exemptions, meaning they don't want to be under the Rent Restriction Act. There were 21 outreach activities done, and this was held throughout the island. Also, we had 228 judicial hearings held by the board. So we have been making presentations at police stations island-wide to inform the police about the Rent Assessment Board and how to assist landlords and tenants who visit the stations. So it has been a mutually beneficial relationship. We have seen where clients come to us with disputes, and we have been able to contact the same officers who engaged or who we engage via presentation for them to render assistance to our clients. And the opposite is true, because the police have also contacted us to assist some persons who make reports about rental disputes. This outreach will continue as we see the benefits in doing it. So we will be partnering with the Social Development Commission to aggressively fulfill the mandate of the board, to serve the public, especially those who really don't know about the Rent Assessment Board, maybe in rural areas and don't have access to come to Kingston. We want to go to them and see how we can assist them with their rental matters. So the SDC will be disseminating information on the Rent Assessment Board, on the board's behalf, and we will be participating in the SDC community outreach programs. Also, the SDC works with 775 communities. Not a lot of persons know that, but it's a lot of communities that they reach. In addition, the SDC has a number of programs that engage the communities which they serve. The RAB believes that a collaboration with the SDC will be beneficial to both parties, especially with the landlords and tenants who live in the various communities, in that the SCC already has an established relationship with the communities. Also, this makes it easier for the dissemination of the information about the RAB and the services offered. Also, information gained by the communities about the RAB will empower them to make right decisions, and not to do some nefarious activities, to solve their disputes. The government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is protecting the rights of tenants and landlords through the Rent Assessment Board.
Okay, so when we speak about national development, we have to tie it back into sustainable development. So we are tied to the Sustainable Development Goal 11, which says that we are making cities resilient, safe, and sustainable.